everybody, welcome back to Cotto Verde. My name's Annette and today I am sowing Daucus Carota. Daucus Carota is also known as Queen Anne's lace or wild carrot, and I'm sowing two varieties today, and one of them is white and the other one is purple. So I'm sowing just the plain old Daucus Carota. It's called an ornamental carrot and that is the white version, and if you live here in the UK then you will also know it as cow parsley. Now don't laugh, because I know we see cow parsley all over the place and most people think of it as a weed, but actually it's a really ornamental umbellifer flower. So what an umbellifer is like a dome-shaped flower head that has got lots of little flower heads in amongst it. You'll see on the picture what it looks like, but that's an umbellifer flower and it's very flat, so it's really good for insects and attracting insects into your garden. And then when the flowers turn to seed, obviously, you know, the birds and different insects enjoy those too. The reason that I'm growing the white version, which is essentially cow parsley, is because I think it looks really nice in like a meadow situation in amongst the grasses, or with, you know, other flowers like Verbena bonariensis popping up through it. And I've also read that you can eat the leaves and they taste a bit carroty. Do check you've got that plant and not some other noxious plant before you start eating the leaves of random plants. But you can also take the flower heads of Daucus Carota and batter them and then deep fry them, and those are supposed to be delicious. And I'm quite intrigued by this and I feel like I want to do that this year. So that's probably something I will tackle in the summer. Anyway, the other version of Daucus Carota that I'm growing is called Dara. And there are a few different versions of the purple Daucus Carota. Mine is Dara. I think you can also get one called Black Knight. But basically what they are is like a mauvy-purpley version. They're super pretty and each plant will come in like different shades, and as the flower gets older it sort of changes from this mauvy purple colour through to pink and then green, and it looks really pretty. And again, these flowers, the seed heads sort of look like this bird's nest, and they're really cute, and I think they look nice in a flower arrangement, but I think they also look nice in your garden just when they're the seed heads, because they're just this really interesting shape. Daucus Carota are hardy to zone 7. Here in the UK that means since I'm in an 8B-ish zone, then it's fine for me to sow my seed. Now you can either sow your seed directly into the ground, which is a good idea if you're inexperienced, because it's actually quite difficult. It's harder to transplant the seedlings from cell trays because they've got this sort of taprooty thing. So if you're unsure, then do sow them direct into the ground outside. But I'm going to sow mine into cell trays, and then I'm going to overwinter them, and then they will be nice robust plants come late winter or early spring when I plant them out into the garden. Daucus Carota seeds need light to germinate, but I am going to cover them. I'm going to cover them with a tiny, very thin layer of compost, and then I am going to cover my trays in a sprinkling of vermiculite, because I found this really helpful in combating things like mold and mildew and stuff like that. So let's get on with the sowing. So this is the 40 cell seed tray I'm using, and you can see that I've filled it already with the multi-purpose compost. What I'm going to do is label my rows. So I'm going to sow half a tray of white and then half a tray of purple. And I'll show you what the seeds look like. You'll see that I've sown more than one seed into each cell, and the reason that I'm doing this is because my seed packets are over a year old, because these are seeds that I used last year, and I just want to make sure that there is at least one seed in each cell that germinates. And then what I'll do, if more than one germinates, is I'll just pluck out the ones that I don't need, the weaker or smaller ones, and I'll leave the biggest one in each cell, so that I've got, each cell is full and I've got the 40 plants that I want. So I'm now just going to really lightly sprinkle some compost over the surface, and this will help to keep the seeds moist and help them to germinate. And then I'm going to sprinkle with some vermiculite. And now I'm just going to take my tray over to another tray of water, and I'm going to sit the tray in the water so that the water is absorbed by capillary action from the bottom upwards, because you don't really want to water from the top, because it's just going to dislodge all the seeds that you've just sown. So that's the reason why I bottom water. So I'll leave the tray sitting in there for about 20 minutes, and then let it drain, and then I will take it to my greenhouse. Now that I've sown and watered the Daucus Carota seeds, I'm going to put them in my greenhouse, and that's where they'll stay through the winter months. So even though they're hardy, I'm going to keep them in the greenhouse, make sure that they're watered, make sure that they're healthy and looked after and nothing's eating them. And then come next year, when it's a few weeks before my last frost, I will start hardening them off and bringing them outside, and then I will plant them out in the garden. And I will show you this whole process and give you regular updates. So if you'd like to see that, then do subscribe to my channel and follow along. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Anyway, so those are the two that I'm sowing today, and I am going to show you how I'm going to do it. Just going to answer the door. Are not too small to handle, and I'm just going to put one saucy seed. I'm using the peat-free multi-purpose. Okay, stop laughing.